السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المنتجبين سيما بقية الله في الأراضين واللعنة الدائمة لأعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم. All together. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. May Allah inshallah accept our prayers, our amal, our mourning for Abu Abdullah inshallah, and reward us for our presence tonight in this majlis. Recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, Allah will give long life with izzah and honor to all maraja, inshallah, our scholars. Recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, once again we have this tawfiq and opportunity. We're together, another important night, another opportunity in the majlis of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Anywhere, when you look at the whole story of Karbala, from any side and any angles, you see the whole book of lessons and teachings that you can gain for your dunya and akhirah. Any aspects of Karbala you analyze, you see it or more that is coming from that side. The first night I mentioned 1,380 years, all the speakers and khutaba, they keep talking and lecturing about different topics in Muharam. 1,380 years. If it was any other topic, there shouldn't be any more subjects to talk about, right? But we see that the more you talk, the more topic comes up. The more you talk, the more you see that we didn't cover anything yet. There are a lot that should be covered. And that's the miracle of Karbala and the mu'jiza of Karbala in this event. The topic that we are following is reviving true deen, the haqiqat of deen, by diagnosing our false beliefs, by recognizing the superstitions that we added into our religion, by looking and finding and diagnosing our false beliefs in deen, by seeing how much of our traditions, how much of our rituals are from the true Islam, and how much of it is what? I think it's off if you can turn it on. How much of it is the false beliefs that I added into my iman? How much of it is culture? How much of it is what? The reality of Islam. In order to assess our beliefs, we should see if our teachings from Islam's, when we practice Islam, if the regulations of Islam are reviving us or not. We want to see is the reality or not. If Islam is reviving us, we have to see the level that we're practicing and if that practice is reviving us in return or not. Therefore, we should reconsider, we should assess all aspects of our iman periodically. Mu'min is the one who keeps analyzing his or her what? A'mal, his own deen and iman. Once a year at least once a year, you have to go through your tax and financial, improvement and aspects of your life to make sure how much you gain, how much you lost. Mu'min is the one who keeps doing this every single day, the muraqabah. He and she wants to make sure everything sets to the right path. Tonight, inshallah, I'm going to go deeper into this topic of reviving deen by diagnosing, to see that when we talk about this topic, we should look for and ask about the reasons that false beliefs comes into religion. We have to know how much our practice is cultural, how much of our practice is true deen. We mentioned that people of Kufa, they used to do Islamic regulations. Salat on time, probably in Masjid of Kufa, right? With Jama'ah, including Fajr prayer. Fasting, definitely they were Muslim. They were burying their deceased one based on the Islamic regulation. The zawaj and nikah and marriage based on Islamic regulations. Everything in this society, it looks like the azan is Islamic azan, everything is right. So what happened, what virus went into this society, that they stand in front of the imam of their time, they stand in front of, even if it's not the imam of their time, they know that Rasulullah says, Husaynu minni wa ana Husayn. They know that he says, he is my son, you should respect him, say Shabab al-Jannah. They know that, then they stand in front of him and they kill him. They know he said, if you bother him, you bother me, you bother Allah. But they stand in front of him, they kill him. Should analyze this. What is the problem here? So when I brought this topic up, inshallah, you kept thinking about this topic, critical thinking, right? That what are the factors? What make people be neglectful about the religion and iman and add what? Superstitions and false beliefs into their deen. And we mentioned Islam, I have to keep repeating this. Islam by itself has no problem. It's the most complete. Is in the deen, in the law al-Islam. We're talking about the Islam that we create for ourselves. We're talking about the Islam that Imam al-Hussein says, I came out, I'm in front of Yazid, لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ فِي أُمَّةِ جَدِّي, reformation, reviving this deen. We're trying to do exactly the same thing that Imam Hussein did in our individual life and even society. Number one factor that would help bring superstitions and false beliefs into religion is number one, ignorance. When there is ignorance, there's always the risk that the issue and problem enters into, because people don't have enough knowledge. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. He might say his salat the way that he likes. He thinks that's correct. Someone else might, fast while they're traveling. Well, I thought this is correct. I think. They might add something into their Islam. Some of the things that we're doing, inshallah, in the topic of fiqh, I will talk more about this. Sometimes we do something that we create for ourselves. We think is mustahab. It's not in deen, it's not in religion. We think it's mustahab. And we keep practicing and practicing and practicing. Finally, generation after generation, they think it's part of salat. If you don't do it, the salat is batil. Example, shaking hand after salat. If you go to any masjid right now, after salat, it's what they do, it looks like it's wajib, you have to shake hands with each other, right? We don't have anything like this in deen. Where did that come from? Well, 5 minutes before they were talking to each other, and now, even if for the sake of, tabarruk or anything, recommendations are saying, first and foremost, ta'qibat, thinking, don't change the condition of salat. Pay attention, finish ta'qibat, finish whatever you have to do, nafilah, and then, inshallah, even if you want to do it, which we don't have it in Islam. Then imagine our generation after, and the next generation, they're going to say what? They don't know what it is. It's going to be written in the books that it is definitely important to have it. Ignorance is number one, that when there is lack of knowledge, everything can come to the religion. Look at unproved medical recommendations that we have. If you eat that, it's going to hurt that. But science is coming and says there's no proof behind this, right? In all cultures we have this. In one of the cultures, Iranian culture said if you got cold, don't eat grapes. Well, I've seen a baby, literally baby, she was dying out of, the sneezing and everything, and she was, eating grapes, mashallah, very good, and tomorrow she came and beautiful, healthy, right? Some of this medical recommendation comes and there's no proof behind this. What is the solution to this? The solution is knowledge, learning from authentic sources. Learning from authentic sources. Whoever has the mic, whoever speaks nicely, whoever speaks eloquently doesn't mean that you're giving you the right things that you're supposed to learn. The way that you do not open your body to anyone to come and do surgery unless you trust that person, you should not open the gate of your soul to whoever by listening and sitting in their majlis. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. Second risk and second factor that can bring superstitions and falsehoods into the religion. Blind and irrational imitation. Copying someone or something or a culture irrationally and blindly. Quran says, when Rasulullah told people of, disbelievers, the people of Quraysh, follow me, one of the rationale that they brought, one of the reason was, why you're doing this? We found aba'ana, we found our fathers are doing the same thing. Today, if you ask many people why you're doing this ritual, well, our culture is saying we have to do it. I know your culture, I know your fathers were doing it, but is it part of Deen and Islam or not? Huh? Why are we talking about? Remember the hadith I mentioned says when Imam of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, he comes back, salawat. People would reject him and they say that you brought a new religion. He is the hujjat of Allah. He's the one that Quran talks about him. He's the one who finished the mission of 124,000 prophets. They're saying, no, we don't accept it because you brought a new religion. What religion? He brought the haqiqat of Islam, right? He will bring the true Islam, but not the Islam that they created for themselves, or they will create for themselves, right? Irrational following or blindly following something. You guys, when you follow maraja, it's not irrational. It's exactly rational to the point. Because you should either be expert yourself or follow an expert, right? Medical major, either you're a doctor, you have to, whatever you have to take, or you have to go to a doctor, right? I'm sure we can't do surgery ourselves, although there was a surgeon, he did it, it was Russian, I think, he did it for himself. But you go to another expert to take care of you. If you don't know how to take care of your car, you go to an expert to take care of your car. It's rational. We do it every day, right? We go to school to experts to learn. Either you're marja, either you're mujtahid, that is haram for you to imitate or follow and do taqleed, or you're not mujtahid, you have to follow. Or you have to do the ihtiyat, which is very difficult. It's better to follow someone, right? However, if you want to follow that person, you have to be very careful. You have to do your research. Look how amazing is Islam and Fiqh Ja'fari. You have to do research. Not just Maulana, he has a better mashallah mama and he looks good and he's beautiful and he... You have to look at the knowledge of that person. A'lam. You have to look the most knowledgeable one with the better taqwa and piety. All these layers comes and makes you rationally follow someone, not irrational. Right? What is the solution to this problem of irrational imitation is intuition and basira. That I follow authentic sources again and again and again. Authentic sources. Whoever says I'm marja, you cannot follow him. Whoever has risala, you cannot follow him. You have to do the research, right? You have to ask two alim, for example, that you trust them. But they're expert in this, said, yes, this maraj are good. On the other side, when we see that some people, they raised in one culture, some people raised in one society, in one region, and they keep following certain rituals which is not in Islam. It is not in Islam. 3, emotions instead of rationality. When people get emotional before they think rationally about something, in any situation, in any part of Islam, that they want to follow Islamic regulations based on their emotions, not based on their reality, contemplation, the false belief will come. One of the Maraja, years ago in Iran, it was the Zuhr of Ashura. He, gathered all the heads of the mokibs, all the heads of, hayat of Imam Hussein. He said, you know what, it's a custom that you go outside, like Hussein Day that we have. They usually go every day, and specifically the 10th of Muharam. This is an important day. He told them, who are you following? Who is your marja? At that time, we had one marja azam. Everybody were following him. They said, Maulana, absolutely, you're our marja. So he said, whatever I say haram, you consider haram. Yes, yes. Whatever I said, you should do it, wajib, you do it. Yes. I said, I am telling you, in the 10th of this Muharram, first you have to pray Salat al-Zuhr on time, then go do bit your chest. Salat al-Zuhr is more important than that. Don't miss Salat al-Waqt. They look at Maulana Marja and says, Maulana, you are our Marja the whole year, except the 10th of Muharram. Except the 10th of Muharram. 10th of Muharram, don't enter that zone. Emotion instead of. Well, talk to these people that Imam Hussein, he didn't even miss that 2 rakat Salat al-Zuhr, Khawf in Karbala. And he what? He became shaheed for that Salat. Amir al-Mu'mineen, the wasiyat and the will of Amir said, Allah, Allah bis Salat. Emotion instead of rationality. Solution. Pondering and contemplation. Thinking. Before you get emotional, you have to show it from the authentic sources. By the way, I said last night, let's not get too quote-unquote open-minded as well. Yes, question all this, azah of Imam al-Hussein. This is too open-minded, from the negative side. Don't get over there as well. The azah is important. Sitting in the majlis of Imam al-Hussein, if it's not farida wajib, fiqhi is akhlaqi wajib as well. It's important. We're not going to question this. But where blocking superstitions and wrong beliefs comes in. Hadith is saying, تَفَكُّرُ صَاعًا أَفْضَلْ مِنْ عِبَادَةِ سَبْعِينَ سَنَةً. It's a beauty of Islam that 1 hour thinking and pondering upon your relationship with Allah and your deen is better than 70 years of worshipping Allah, like Shamr ibn Zaljoshan, like Ibn Muljam. You know that. Here, they have big mark of sajdah. But ibadah, that there is no tafakkur, there is no basira behind this. People of Kufa, they are the bravest knights of Islam in Kufa. Kufa was built at the time of the 2nd Caliph. They wanted the stationary army close to Iran, so when they want to, so this is the city of who? The cities of fighters and knights. All brave people. With 11 people with Ibn Ziyad, he brought with himself in Kufa, Mosadal. It's all gone. And there's no basira, there's no intuition, right? 4th, the problem. What are we talking about? Who knows? We're talking about what now? Say, I'm not going to go further unless I know you know what we're talking about. What is it? Actions. No, not actions. What is it? You thought We're talking about the reasons and factors that superstitions and false beliefs comes to religion. Number 4, lack of bravery. When people are not brave enough to defend haqq and defend Islam. Once you recognize and you realize that you are doing something wrong, I apologize. That's it. Bravery in din. If 50 years you were doing something wrong, change it. A guy came to Ayatollah Abul Hassan Shirazi. He came and he said, he was, known that he was hurting people. He was taking money by force from others. It was the whole, different world. You can come sit over there. But you can come here, it's very smart. So one day, because of Karbala and Imam Hussein, most of these people, he went to the Bayt of Ayatollah, and he knocked on the door. says there is a specific time that Allah can see you, you know. He's resting. He was the whole, you know, different situation, and he didn't listen to anything. He says, tell him that I'm here, I want to see him. The Khadim came and says, Allah is resting. Then he was fighting with him. I have to go and see him. Marja Adam, right? But the Khadim, the Allah, he heard the voice. What's going on? He came and he had the bag with himself. He went inside. He said, what's going on? He says, all my life, it's all haram money. This is my whole asset. It's all haram money. I brought it here. What should I do with it? Allah said, put it there. Says everything is good, yes. He was living, then Allah said, okay, come back. Says, this suit coat that you have, where did you get that from? From the same money? He says, you have to take it off. Take it off. He took it off. Then he said, okay, take this one, you can go. I gave it to you. Then he gave him money. Then he gave him money from himself. He said, go do business. Don't go close. Look at the bravery. He came with everything. He was not religious. He was brave to change. Then he became one of the most religious and Husseini guy. He was the head of a mukib in Tehran. Bravery. I know that it's been years and years. It's difficult. I go to work. Everyone saw me in different situation. My family, my friends, they saw me in different situation. Am I brave enough to change it when I realize that something is correct or not? Number 5. One of the biggest factors that can hurt Islam and Deen, the power of those who compose false beliefs and superstitions to your religion. There are groups of enemies sitting all around you, thinking how to destroy your religion. Not by telling you don't come to the Majlis of Imam Hussein. None of the enemies of Imam Hussein today, they do not tell you to come to Majlis of Imam Hussein. They realize that's not going to work. They tried for 1,300 and something years. They know that doesn't happen. Inna lil Hussein fi qulub al mu'minin hararat. There is a heat in the qulub of. It's not going to go away. They know that they can't fight it. How can we do it? What is the topic? Bring superstitions and false beliefs. Then they'll get away from it. If not them, then next generation will get away from Imam Hussein. I have some akhbar and news that they literally bring some people and pay money and invest to make something a false beliefs. That you have to go do this, you have to go touch that, you have to do certain things. And they do it years and years. They're very patient. Years and years. And then after that they bring this topic that, by the way, we created this. Us did it. Now you're doing it as part of your religion, but it was created by us. So all your religion is like that. The power of those people that they're sitting to do certain things like this. I was in one of the states. I have seen a brother came, mashallah, with, he had the dashtasha and thobe. He had the hat, the cloak on top of his head, araqchi. And he had the abba, mashallah, and he had tasbih probably, and he was giving lectures, subhanallah, mashallah. And I talked to him, brother, so at the time of dinner, he said, so where did you study? What hawza did you study? He said, hawza? What do you mean by hawza? I'm an engineer. Engineer. I've never been in any hawza, any Islamic studies. Well, a few books myself. Well, mashallah, people are following you. See your marja today here. Vote to those people who sit down in that majlis. And we don't do that in any other aspects of our lives. Even the mechanic of your car, right? If today I you know, wear the white coat, like the doctors, would you come and let me do surgery? Maulana, inshallah, is connected to Allah, He's going to help you. Thank you so much, but stay away. You do not even give your car. Even a plumber you want to bring to your house, you look at the certification of that person, don't you? Where that came from, whoever got the mic can speak and do whatever he wants. It's one of those issues that I said, the power of those who wants to destroy the society, right? They do it like this. Surah Baqarah, ayah 11. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. We tell them, don't do this, don't corrupt. It says, no, we are, you know, the reformers. We want ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون. They're indeed bringing corruption. Sometimes they do not even know about this themselves. Sometimes they do not even know about this themselves. It's not about pure intention. It's about authentic source, right? Both Imam Hussein, look at this. Both Imam Hussein and Ibn Zubayr, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, both of them, they left Medina, they ran away from Medina to Mecca. Because of what? They both didn't want to give oath of allegiance to Yazid. Both of them. Imam Hussein and Ibn Zubayr. But look at the path. Imam Hussein is going for reformation, لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي. Ibn Zubayr is going for لطلب الدنيا, for the sake of dunya. It's important. So these are a few of those issues that if you see that in a person or in a society or in a culture, superstition involved is connected. Now let me tell you something interesting. Characteristics of people who want to be revivers. The topic that we have is reviving true deen by diagnosing our false beliefs. We said every single of us, we should be reviving, as Shaheed Mutahari says, you revive deen, you find the true Islam, Islam and Nabi Muhammadi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You revive deen, you clean this mirror, then Islam would revive you. What do I mean? Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal. The salat, if you want to see the power of salat, is that whoever prays should definitely be away from corruption and munkarat. Is it all the time like this? No. Because of many reasons, one of them might be some issues. The characteristic of these people. Number one, concern. They're very concerned about the religion. They're very concerned about their iman. Have you seen the stock market, those who invested in the stock market? How many times a day they check it? Some of you guys know, right? When it goes up, their heart goes up. If it goes down, they go down as well, right? They keep checking. They want to make sure everything is set to the path that they want. They are concerned about financial responsibilities that they have. Huh? Now, Uzubillah, it's not a good comparison. How much I'm concerned about my iman and my deen. I said that once before. The Ahlul Bayt, they set this path for us. You should be concerned about your deen. When Amir al-Mu'mineen in Khutbah Sha'bani of Rasulullah, he asked him, Ya Rasulullah, I have a question. What is it? What is the best amal in Ramadan? Rasulullah said, Al-Vara'u an Muharam Allah. Get away from haram of Allah in Ramadan, the best amal. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen said, I saw Rasulullah is crying. Rasulullah, did I ask anything wrong? No, what happened? Ya Ali, in a month like this Ramadan, Ashqal Ashqiya, the worst of all people, will dye your beard with the blood of your head, struck against you. So Amir al-Mu'mineen is being informed about how he's going to become shaheed. What should he say? If they tell me that in next Ramadan, for example, you're going to become shaheed, how do I say? So how will be my family, inshallah? How's my business? How's everything? Amir al-Mu'mineen asked one question. وَذَلِكَ فِي سَلَامَةٍ مِّن دِينِي. What is the status of deen and Islam and religion? My iman. Fi salamatin min dini, my deen. Ya Ali, Rasulullah just said in mihrab, no one became shaheed in mihrab. You have 1,000 reasons that you are the best of all people after Rasulullah. I know, but then there is a concern, there is a concern. The same Ali, he recites Dua Kumail and says, وَنَفْسِي بِجَنَايَتِهَا إِلَهِي وَرَبِّي مَنْ لِي غَيْرُكَ. Ali knows that he has the whole world, but he has a concern when he comes in front of Allah. Number one characteristic of this verse, concern. Second, moderation. They're not as stubborn. The revivers are not as stubborn. When they find something haq, they follow. He knew that over there are 1,000 and 1,000 coins waiting for him. Gold coins. He found the haq. He says, no. Opposite, we have someone else. In Karbala, he came. Hor was not the only one who repented to Imam Hussein, by the way. Many people came. One of the traditions says only around 30 people they came as well. One of them came to Imam Hussein and says, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, I know you're right. I found it. Why? I was coming back with your father, Amir al-Mu'mineen, from Safin back. We were passing to Kufa, we were passing Karbala. And I saw that he got off his horse. He grabbed the soul of Karbala. He was smelling it and he cried. It says, Ha huna masaru ash-shaq. Here is the place of shahadat of ushaq, the lovers of Allah. Today I see here in the army of Yazid, there is no ushaq and lovers of Allah. And this side is the ushaq of Allah. Because of that, I know your haqq. So Imam Hussein asked you, all right, so what do you want to do? Are you going to help us? He said, well, my family are waiting, I have to go. You know, I have some camels and some cows. And he found haqq. He left haqq in the middle of the most important time. If you had hur, we have these people as well. Then Imam told him, get away from Karbala, because if you be around and you hear the voice of our istaghatha, that we ask for help and you don't help us, you will not reach salvation ever. We had some other people on that side as well, that they found haqq, but they were stubborn in this. Number 3, again, they are brave people, the characteristics of these people. Number 4, they're looking for the best and salvation. A mu'min is not the one who set his goal, I just want to pray sometimes, inshallah. They said it's wajib, and fasting, of course. The minimum is good in Islam for me. It's not mu'min. Ahlul Bayt, they want us to do the best. Every single one of you guys should become the best in religion, should be the stars in this sky of Iman. Why? As I always say, you have the best religion in the whole world. You have the best of all holy books, which is Quran. You have the best of all prophets, which is the Prophet of Islam. You have the best of all leaders, which is Ahlul Bayt. What else? When you have everything the best, everyone expects you to be the best. Everyone expects you to be the best. Imagine you go to the best school, with the best teachers, with the best condition. People's expectation is high. We don't care what grade you get. You have to be the best in the society. Even in the dunyavi aspect. Cowards always set for minimums. A little bit of Islam is good for us. Again, we're living in the United States, just a little bit is good. Minimums might be good for Safin and Uhud and Khaybar and Khandaq. Minimum doesn't help you to be in Karbala with Hussein. Have you thought about this? We had many people in the army of Amir al-Mu'mineen, as I said, with minimum of Islam. We had many people, but only those who had maximum of Islam, at least to their beliefs, they were in Karbala. Why do you think Imam Hussein, he turned off the light in the night of Ashura? One of the Maraja or Rafahi was saying very nicely. At night, very interesting. At night of Ashura, have you thought about this? It's the first time you're going to hear this. At the night of Ashura, Imam Hussein, he turned off the light. He said, leave me. Take the hands of my Ahlul Bayt. Leave and go. In the morning of Ashura, he says, come and help me. Hal bin Nasr yansurni. What do you mean? Is it a contradiction? How many of you guys thought about this? Raise your hand. No one. At night, he said, leave me. In the morning, he says, come and help me. And he's ma'asum. That the scholar said very nicely. At night, he wants to make sure there's no impurity among the pure ones. If there's anyone who still doubts, leave me alone. This army is the army of pures. In the morning, he wants to make sure if there is any pure one among impures, he comes back to him like Hur. Subhanallah. That's why he said, come back to me. Imam, everything he does is based on hikmah and wisdom. Even in your dunyavi aspects, try to be the best. Look, chapter 12, ayah 55. When Yusuf got out of prison and he went to the Malik of, the Egypt, he says, قَالَ جَعَلْنِي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ إِنِّي حَفِيظٌ عَلِيمٌ. He said, place me in authority over the treasures of the land. Make me the treasurer of the Secretary of Treasury. Of where? Of Egypt. the richest place at that time. Why he said for the best? Does it make me in charge of this? وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. That was the way that we gave power to Yusuf. He didn't say, give me a little bit power around here, inshallah I can help you. No, give me the best, because I know I can do the best. Group of people like cowards, they came Imam Sadiq and he's like, this is good, we're not going to. Imam Sadiq, look at Yusuf. Quran is narrating it and he's approving it. Sometimes we talk to people, brother, you're inshallah at work that you are as a Muslim, try to be the best. If you're a student, try to be the best student, the top student. If you're working somewhere, an employee, try to be the best employee. If you're a lawyer, be the best lawyer. This is mashallah, Ali so-and-so, Muhammad, Zahra, Hassan, Hussein, Fatima so-and-so, mashallah. You see, sometimes you hear among the professionals the name of Muslim, you become so proud of yourself. Alhamdulillah, set your goal for the best. Imam Ahlul Bayt, they want this. Yusuf did the same thing, and Quran narrates it. But sometimes we talk to people, 50 years you're in the same position. Yeah, Maulana, it's a little bit is good, it comes and goes. No, do the best. Amir al-Mu'mineen, as I said before, he was the richest person in Medina and Kufa this time. Imam Hussein, the same thing. Whoever wants to get money and help, they go to the house of Imam Hussein and Amir al-Mu'mineen. But they don't want for themselves. They what? They give and donate to others. Yusuf didn't want for himself. He wanted to help people of Egypt. 5, follow the path of orders. Follow the authentic source. Follow authentic source that you have to follow. That's what is important. We talk about the characteristics of what? Society or person who accepts and brings superstitions. We talk about characteristics of people who are going to revive. And now we have to diagnose the pain and the problem and finding the proper cure to that. Throughout the history of Islam, Deen faced a lot of sicknesses and issues and problems. And people like Imam Hussein, on top of this is Imam Hussein, they brought the cure to these problems and pains. At the time of Imam Hussein, certain factors damaged Deen of people and brought the death of Islamic contemplation and tafakkur at that time. Certain factors. We have to analyze. Remember last night I said we have to analyze the society of time of Imam Hussein to see what was the virus. We're going to analyze it. Number 1. When I talk about that time, again I'm talking about when? This time. We're not talking about history. We're talking about those factors and issues that are going to happen and are happening nowadays in our life. Number 1 issue of the society of time of Imam Hussein is being attached to dunya. Imam Hussein went gave lecture to the army of Yazid. Who is giving lecture? Imam Hussein. Me and you, we wish we see Imam Hussein in our dreams. He was giving lecture, not Maulana so-and-so, not a very good speaker, the one who his presence changed people. He's lecturing, he's guiding them, and it's not working. Why? فَقَدْ مُلَعَتْ بُطُونُكُمْ مِنَ الْحَرَامِ. One of the reasons, Hazrat Zainab asked Imam Hussein, why they're not accepting it? Imam says one of the reasons is that their stomachs are full of haram. Oh, it smells good outside, Hadith. Practicing deen with akl al-haram kal-banai al-raml. Practicing Islam while you are eating haram is like you're building a beautiful mansion on the beach sand. It's going to collapse, right? The foundation is not as strong. The foundation is not as strong. One of the main reasons was, Imam Hussein said, it's not my word. One of the reasons that a society can stand in front of the Imam of its time and kill the Imam of its time is akl al-haram. Second, cultural or national prejudiceness. Ta'assub qawmi. Well, my culture is like this. My society is like that. My people, my father, my. What was the analogy for? Quraysh. We found our father, they were doing the same thing. Then if I keep saying my culture, my so-and-so, then I'm not going to go learn about new things if it's true or not, right? Third, as we said, ignorance. Fourth, at that time was the appearance of Khawarij and Kharijites that interpreted Islam based on their own interpretation and understanding. How many of these people we have again and again, they have the mics and they are doing the tafsir of ayat of Quran based on their own understandings. And Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt, they cursed these people. Do not do tafsir bil-ra'i. It's not your opinion. Don't open Quran and say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I'm so and so. I believe this ayah of Quran is saying, who are you to believe? You have to get it from the source. Do we have any hadith from Rasulullah from Ahlul Bayt? Those who interpret deen based on their own, and they what? They expose it to other people as well. 5, cultivating the thought of Jabr, Garai, and force. Bani Umayyah, they were promoting their thoughts through this by saying that we have to follow what Allah He decreed for us and there's nothing out of it. Ibn Sa'd, he killed Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. He says, "Kanat umurun qudiyat min as-sama." There are certain things that Allah He decreed, such as me kill Hussein. Remember I said when haqq and batil is mixed? He said, if Hussein is killed in Karbala, it's because of Allah wanted. If Allah didn't want, he wouldn't be killed. From his own way, by the way. So we killed him, so don't ask us, we didn't do anything wrong. Jabr. We didn't do anything wrong. Well, if that's the case, then all those people who killed, the shuhada of Islam, then they're all good to go. Bara'at, there's nothing wrong with them, right? Because Allah wanted that happen. New cults, such as Murja' that I talked about last night. And the other one was fear at that time. Fear of life. Fear of losing money, financial aspects. Fear of missing my job. Well, if I do this, I'm afraid, this and that. Well, that means that person doesn't believe enough that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we talk about this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's in charge of that and He will help them. How Imam Hussein reformed this? 2 aspects, inshallah, we'll wrap up with this. How Imam Hussein wrapped this. Now you see that whatever I bring the quotes from the time of Imam Hussein, how amazingly it adapts to our current time. It adapts to our current time. It exactly does. All these factors, as I said, happening in our life. Every day. Imam Hussein, he reformed and corrected the society through few factors. Number 1, he was not quiet when he saw misguidance, when he saw oppression, when he saw something is wrong in Deen and Islam. He was not quiet. What did he do? Amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar. He started talking to people. That is wrong, this is right. Quran says, وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. We have tremendous hadiths in your society, in your community. Don't be quiet, talk. I said this once. I want everyone, specifically parents, to listen. Before, the societies and cultures was this way. That if my son, my daughter was doing something wrong, you as an adult were coming and correcting my son. This is wrong that you're doing. It was Amr Ma'ruf set from that time. Today, if someone comes and talks to my son, sweetheart, you shouldn't do that. Parents come and fight with other parents. Who are you to tell my parents, to my children to do this? And we got it from Western cultures. Don't interfere into my parenting. Yes, I am going to interfere. Quran is saying, we set this for ourselves, of course, with observing the condition of Ma'ruf. We know that. I'm respecting your knowledge. I'm not going to the details, right? To tell you, yes, respecting and this and that, these are all good. But today, as soon as my son says, well, I don't like that person, well, I don't like that teacher, well, I don't like that class. Yes, you're right, sweetheart. That's not to be, definitely it's not good then. Well, when it comes to, let me tell you what, when it comes to taking your child to go take a shot in the hospital, and your child is saying, I don't want it, what do you say? I don't like it. Okay, sweetheart, don't worry about this. We're not going to go there? Or if you have to, you drag him somehow to take it because it's important for them, right? What if your son comes, Mom, I can't wake up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning to go to school. What do you say? All right, sweetheart, stay there. Islam says parents, they should have qiwam in the family. They should have vilayat in the family. Yes, the vilayat is the vilayat of Ahlul Bayt, the vilayat of Allah, the vilayat of parents over their children, not children over their parents. Today, children have vilayat over, unfortunately, parents. What do we call it? Bacha salari, huh? Whatever my yes, definitely. It's nothing to do with communication. I'm a child development, expert. I know these things, to communicate, to talk, to sit down, to hear, blah, blah, all the things. Again, I'm respecting you. I'm not going to talk about these things. But where is going on? Where is the amr ma'ruf? I make my daughter, my son so sensitive. As soon as someone get close to you and says, don't do that, you start crying, oh my God, don't talk to me. And of course he's not going to accept amr ma'ruf when he's older. Of course amr ma'ruf is dead in that society because I said that, so forth. And we have a lot of hadiths and traditions, anayat of Quran about amr ma'ruf and nahy al-munkar. One of the main reason of the problem of people of Kufa was this, that amr ma'ruf and nahy al-munkar, to enjoin to khair and forbid evil, was dead in that society. Was dead in that society. We have to bring this back as well. That yes, I be so open that if I do something wrong, you come to me and tell me that's wrong. Respectfully, nicely, on the corner, no one here, respecting my honor and all these things, right? If you do something, you're not doing something that you're supposed to do, I come to you and says, brother, sister, respectfully, this is wajib, we have to do it, blah, blah, blah. So we help each other. Imagine that if someone was walking and there's a hole in front of that person, what would you do? It's not my business? Oh, be careful. So do you think that physical damage is more important than spiritual and ruhi damage? Wallahi, it's not. Because that can be getting better, going to the doctor and then taking care of it. But sometimes the damage that comes to ruh and soul, sometimes is permanent. Helping our youth, our friend, our friendship. You have a group of youth, you have network, set this. Promise each other. We have this among Maraja, among, Urafa, that they had few friends. They said, you are friends in deen. If you see that I'm doing something wrong, it's wajib for you to come and tell me. If you think I have to do something, come and tell me. What is the reason? What is the main reason to have friends? Is this to improve? One of the reasons that Imam Hussein, he could save the society was what? Reviving amr ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar in the society. Second, which is the last one, reviving the true sunnah of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa sallam and Quran, the holy book, the true sunnah and Quran. People after Imam Hussein, they just realized how important is this. In the letter that Imam Hussein, he sent to the head of Basra, he said, أَنَا أَدْعُوكُمْ إِلَىٰ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ وَسُنَّةِ نَبِيِّهِ. I'm inviting you to Quran, to follow what Quran is saying, to the sunnah of Rasulullah. I'm inviting you to that. The sunnah of Rasulullah is dead and bid'ah is alive. Innovation is deen is alive and the sunnah and the true Islam is dead. He revived them by awakening them through this. Now, if I want to, inshallah, be among the revivers, for myself individually, and for my community, and for my society, I need to pay attention to these aspects. For the sake of this Muharram, I have to bring this culture into my family, that we need to revive true deen. Whatever we're doing so far, we have to change if we find that's wrong. Don't tell me that my daughter, she's set to go, inshallah, I let her be free. If she figure out this is good in Islam, she will practice it. If it's not good in Islam, she doesn't have to practice. Well, it is totally against Islam and against your daily life, as I said. You won't leave your child to say, when you grow up, figure out if vaccination is good for you or not. If it's good for you, go take it. Huh? Figure out if you have to go to the doctor, is good for you. This only comes when you grow up. Figure out if a school is good for you, then go to it. No, from the beginning we set forth, because we have the velayat over them. We know what is right, what is wrong for them. The only problem in when it comes to deen, well, don't practice that part of deen. Figure out later on, if it's good for you, you practice it. If it's not good for you, my understanding of Muharam is these things. Then when we cry for Imam al-Hussein, is the tear of Basira. It's the tear of Basira. Because it's changing me. It's improving me. It's reviving me. Huh? I'm so blessed. I'm talking about you and on behalf of you, not myself. So blessed to be sitting in the Majlis of Imam al-Hussein. I know that if Imam al-Hussein didn't love me, he would invite me to his majlis. I know there is a reason I'm sitting in this majlis tonight, inshallah. I know Allah had a specific look, inshallah, that He wanted me to come and hear these things that someone is saying, keep narrating from Quran, keeps referencing from, ayat and hadith. You're the guest of Imam al-Hussein. You have huge value and respect. That Malaik respect you tonight in this majlis and all the time. I will inshallah bring more traditions about the guest of Imam al-Hussein when they're sitting in the majlis of Imam al-Hussein. Let me finish with this. It was a person that, he was well known, he was drinking all the time, and situation. One night he went to Husseiniya. He went to Husseini. And everyone, they know him in that society community, that he drinks and everything. With that situation that he was drunk, he entered the Majlis of Imam Hussein. The authorities came and kicked him out. Get out of the Majlis of Imam Hussein. Get out. Get out. Respect. At night, I usually don't narrate these things unless it's at night, the owner of the Majlis, he had a dream about Imam Hussein. He said, who told you to kick him out? With whose permission you took him out? It was your majlis or my majlis? He was my guest, came to majlis of Hussein. He was drunk. It was not your guest, it was my guest. You shouldn't have disrespected him. You shouldn't have disrespected him. Go tell him to come back to the majlis. Subhanallah.